During the trial of Socrates, after having been sentenced to die, he said to the judges and the people around him, "If the dead man has no consciousness and is nothing, and death is like sleeping without dreaming, then death is a blessing, because this way eternity seems like no more than one night." And in this sense, Socrates was glad to die. This got me thinking, since when it comes to the nature of death, I am of this very same opinion, that there is nothing afterwards. Your brain dies, it rots, and your personality, based on the biochemical mixture that was your identity in life, just dissolves. Like a picture in a puzzle. The picture only exists while the puzzle is arranged. Disperse the pieces of the puzzle, and the picture is no more. It's just pieces of a puzzle. Life, in my opinion, is just like that. Only the pieces of the life puzzle. In biology, there are billions and billions of pieces. Impossible to assemble back together once they fall apart. The process of death is practically irreversible because of the extreme level of complexity in the biological puzzle of the human body. A person dying and someone trying to bring them back would be like taking a whole giant beach, scattering it to the wind, and then trying to gather the sand grains back together, and arranging each grain of sand back into its original position in order to assemble back the entire beach in its absolute original form. Death is simply irreversible, and resurrection is impossible. Or is it? Socrates' idea about death making eternity as short as one night got me thinking, if this is true, and I think it is, if in death the perception of eternity would shrink to the extreme, then this would mean that for the dead man, time would flow much, much, much faster. For the dead man, a millennium is like a millisecond. For the dead man, each minute is a brand new Big Bang in the universe. So in this sense, time has no power against the dead. And if time is no longer an obstacle for the dead man, then what does this mean? It means that now, the dead man just needs to wait for his chance. His new jackpot in the cosmic lottery. And what does that mean? It means that because time is insignificant, the puzzle of the picture, the sand beach that we scattered to the wind, the biological puzzle of the human body that fell apart in death, can now be reassembled much more easily. In a universe that is infinite in space, and where time is no longer a problem, this means that at some point, no matter what happens, the absolute same pieces that once made up the bodily puzzle of the dead man will once again happen to come together. In that very same combination he originally was in. In the perfectly identical reassembled body, the dead man will come back to life and be able to look at the world again. And of course, this phenomenon, in accordance with the time flow of the living, will happen in maybe 2 million trillion centuries or more. But for the man that was just brought back to life, the man that was just dead, what would it seem to him? If he was dead for all those 2 million trillion centuries, if through all that enormous ocean of time he was sleeping without dreaming, will he feel like he was gone for more than one night? Will he feel like he was gone for maybe an hour or a second? So when we die and our puzzle falls apart, imagine if the next thing that happens to us is just waking up again, one ocean of eternity later.